And we shift our focus back to Vijay's Karur rally where the stampede broke out, and finally Vijay has now broken his silence. He has put out a post that reads, and I quote, "My heart is shattered. I am in unbearable, indescribable pain and sorrow. I express my deepest condolences and sympathies to the families of my beloved brothers and sisters who lost their lives in Karur. I pray for the speedy recovery of those receiving treatment in the hospital." That's the message that is coming from the TVK chief hours after the tragedy unfolded. And while we had literally seen a response from all top leaders, Vijay, who had gone silent, it was his supporters, it was his fans, it was those who had come out to get a glimpse of him who had gathered at that rally. But Vijay left from Karur. He caught a flight from Trichy to Chennai, and now that he's landed, he's finally issued a response. He's broken his silence. He's put out a post, that tweet that reads, and I quote, "My heart is shattered. I am in unbearable, indescribable pain and sorrow. I express my deepest condolences and sympathies to the families of my beloved brothers and sisters who lost their lives in Karur. I pray for the speedy recovery of those receiving treatment in the hospital." That is the first response that has come in from Neta Vijay, at whose rally this entire tragedy unfolded. And while other netas are making their way to Karur, he instead fled from there. He caught a flight from Trichy to Chennai, the flight that has just landed a short while ago. This as 38 people have lost their lives in Karur. Remember, this is where the official death toll stands, but it could be higher. More than 50 people who are critically injured. They are undergoing treatment. And Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, who is catching a flight in an hour from now to make his way to Karur to meet with the victims. They've also announced a compensation of 10 lakh rupees for the families of deceased. But this being the situation, as the DMK is monitoring every single development on the ground, Vijay, who's issued that first response. Let me cut across to Pramod, joining us live on the broadcast. Pramod, that response that finally came in, the response that everybody had been waiting for. And even in this response, of course, he said that he is in indescribable pain. He's expressed his deepest condolences and sympathies, but lots of answers to come in when it comes to accountability. Pramod.
Surely, Suisha, we are at Chennai airport currently, and we tried to ask him these questions, especially about one bigger question that is being put forward is that, like, these were his fans who passed away, and why couldn't Vijay actually react at the earliest? Now he has given us a message stating that, his heart is shattered to know this, and his heart goes to all the people who have lost their life. But, it's like we simply say prevention is better than cure. But the terrible thing is that 31 lives have been lost, all in just one program. And these lives, like young lives, have been lost, and definitely accountability is something now we have to take. And on one side, Vijay did not react over there in Trichy airport. He did not also speak here. He came over his vehicle and he has just left. We've been told that there could be a police inquiry at his residence where the police will have to ask him what exactly happened over there, because as everybody who are critical have been taken to the hospital, and as we speak, they are undergoing treatment. Now is the next step as to find out what exactly happened, because the permission was sought for 10,000 people. The expected crowd was 50,000 people, but it looks like the crowds were in lakhs, and that's what led to such a situation, which means legally TVK is very much responsible for what happened over there. And then the issue falls over the police force as well, because such a large crowd, definitely the said number, police cannot mobilize just like that so many people to cover the crowd. So a lot of questions are to be answered. Now Vijay has finally broken his silence, and
all right, Pramod, stay on. Anaka is also with us on the broadcast. Anaka, do give us details of where exactly you're standing. And one thing being very clear, that Vijay panicked, TVK feared backlash, and which is why it took them a while to respond. while they may have responded, but important now is to what happens next in terms of cooperating in the investigation of what transpired at that rally.
Well, in fact, as far as the investigations are concerned, there has been a one-woman commission that's been set up by a retired judge. Aruna Jagadishan will be the one who will be probing the cause of this particular devastating incident that has happened. We also have a fresh update with regards to the death toll. 38 innocent lives have been killed in this particular devastating stampede incident, out of which 8 children have lost their lives, 16 women have lost their lives. Remember, that's the kind of devastating toll that we are talking about. In fact, Vijay has finally broken his silence about this matter, where he says that his heart is absolutely shattered and he's deeply in pain, and he's also offered his condolences. We believe just a while back he landed in Chennai airport from Trichy. Remember, there has been only a Twitter statement, nothing oral so far. He has not yet issued a video release as to, he has not yet orally expressed condolences. That's the most disappointing fact, because for someone who is projecting himself as the chief ministerial candidate, he should have been the first one to express condolences and even acknowledge that this, or at least take accountability for what has happened. But nothing of that sort so far from Vijay. He has just put out a tweet. In fact, Vijay has been receiving extreme backlashes from all over regarding this particular incident, about the lack of acknowledgement and particularly delay in acknowledging what has happened. That's why Vijay, we believe, is receiving heavy backlash. On the other front, we also have Chief Minister Stalin. He will be reaching Karur by around 2 a.m. we believe. He held an urgent meeting with his chief secretaries. In fact, we also saw those visuals of his cabinet colleagues Anbil Mahesh, Senthil Balaji right there, including Health Minister Subramanian at the Karur Government Hospital. We also saw dramatic visuals of Education Minister Anbil Mahesh breaking down right after he met with those victims who lost, those injured, after he met the families of those who have lost their lives. In fact, the Tamil Nadu government has also announced an ex gratia of 10 lakh rupees per person for the victims, for the families of victims who have lost their lives. But no amount of financial compensation can really make up for the loss of lives. In fact, this particular commission will also probe as to what exactly was the cause for the stampede. Was it dereliction of duty on part of the police officers, or was it apathy on part of the government officers? What exactly led, or was it TVK, lack of preparedness on part of TVK that led to this particular mishap? All these angles will be probed by this particular commission. In fact, we are on our way to Karur. We will be reaching there. It's about a 7-hour drive from Chennai. We will be reaching there. But Chief Minister, he will be landing in Karur at 2 a.m. today, post which he will be meeting with the families of victims who have lost their lives.
Oh yes, absolutely. And Anagha, while Vijay has said that he's shattered and he expressed his deepest condolences, but will he also say that yes, TVK and I will take responsibility for what happened?